Behind me is the Dubai skyline, the venue of the Asia Cup. But the Indian team participating in the Asia Cup, their performance has been very contrary, very opposite of this Dubai skyline, because their performance has been very flat. Very flat in the last two encounters that really counted, which means now they're all but out of the tournament. Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, says that it's not a sign to worry. This is not a team that worries after two losses. Well, if you are a supporter of Indian cricket, like myself, I think you should be worried. You should be worried because you just have about 6 to 7 weeks to go for the all-important T20 World Cup. It was this very venue last time around, not too long ago, about 10-11 months ago, that you had the T20 World Cup, and India had a disastrous outing, knocked out in the very first round. Will that repeat itself? The signs are worrying, looking at the performance that India have given at the Asia Cup, because before this tournament started, all the talk was not about whether India will make it to the final. It was all but given that India-Pakistan are going to play 3 times. It will be an India-Pakistan final, and India were the favourites to lift the trophy. Now forget about lifting the trophy, even reaching the final is next to impossible. What has gone wrong and what really worries you, having observed everything very closely here while covering the tournament? I think what worries is the kind of preparation and the kind of decisions that the Indian team took while this tournament was happening. Now, what happened in that game versus Pakistan? You did well in the initial stages. Why? Because you were playing 6 bowlers. You did not play the 6th bowler. Okay, all right. Ravindra Jadeja was injured. Your plans were thrown a bit off, but you had enough replacements to ensure that you play with the 6th backup bowler. You didn't do that versus Pakistan, and you had to pay a price for that. Many thought that you will rectify that going into the all-important Sri Lanka game. That wasn't done. Once again, you went in with 5 bowlers. And what happened? Once again, you got the same results. And I think this is the worrying point. You've got a very sharp captain in Rohit Sharma, one of the most successful captains in the IPL. You know he's a sharp captain. You've got one of the most successful players in Rahul Dravid coaching this team. But then questions need to be asked of the top management, because decisions that were taken even before the first ball was bowled are questionable. You didn't play the 6th bowler. Bowling was your Achilles heel, but you tried to bolster your batting. You left your bowling exposed. That happened. I know many people will talk about the toss, that listen here, win the toss, win the match. While that may be the case, but that can't be an excuse. So don't fall for that, because the Indian team knew that had you had to bat first, you had to put up a total of 190 odd, which they weren't able to do 2 games in a row. And I think that's where the questions need to be asked of the middle order as well. You played Rishabh Pant in both those games. I'm not blaming Rishabh Pant, but batting him anywhere below number 4 is not his right position. Who's better suited to bat at below number 4? It's Dinesh Karthik. But because you are so stuck up by having a left-hander that you take Rishabh Pant, bat him out of order. And because of which Dinesh Karthik, who's supposed to bat there, doesn't get a chance to bat. These are elementary mistakes. And I think these mistakes are made. You'll have to go back a bit to realize what is the root cause of these mistakes happening now. And I think the root cause is this one word that has been used very often: workload management. So all this while leading up to the all-important Asia Cup, leading up to the all-important T20 World Cup, you kept hearing that, listen, workload management is important. So you kept resting players, you kept rotating players. What did that do? That didn't allow you to play your best 11 consistently. And what happens when you don't play your best 11? Your combinations are not right. That's when eventually the best 11 comes, your combinations are thrown out. So I'll give you a few examples. Up until now, because KL Rahul or Rohit Sharma, one of them was not playing, so you got Rishabh Pant to open, you got Surya Kumar Yadav to open sometime. Now they come back, now he has to bat in the middle order, so he has to readjust his game. Deepak Hooda, when your top order batsmen weren't there, Deepak Hooda was batting in the top order, sometime opening, sometime number 3, sometime number 4. Suddenly, now that your top order is available and your full strength team is playing, Deepak Hooda has been given a new role of batting at 7. If you want him to fulfill that role, Deepak Hooda needs to consistently bat at that position. That isn't happening because this is called the workload management. It's having an effect on your bowling too. Now you are having to get those bowlers to bowl in the death which weren't bowling in the death. Before this, you had the Harshal Patel and the Jasprit Bumrah looking after the death bowling, and so Bhuvneshwar Kumar had the primary role of getting wickets up in the top and then bowl remaining overs in the middle. But now he's become your primary death bowler, and he's the guy who got smashed for two overs that went for big runs in the last 2 games. Why? Because he had not been fulfilling that role, because you had other bowlers. So when you have workload management, when you are resting players, maybe when players are injured, this is what happens if you do not play your best team consistently. Look at the 2 teams that have beaten India in Pakistan and Sri Lanka. They haven't been rotating much. They have been playing their best team, and that is what helps, because each player knows his role, what exactly he needs to do at what time, what is expected out of him. That can only happen if you continue to play him in that position. If you're not going to have your full 11 playing all the time, then these things are bound to happen. People are going to be like fish out of water, and these performances that have resulted in India getting knocked out have happened at the Asia Cup totally unexpectedly. Where does India go from now? Well, the T20 World Cup is still a few weeks away, so you just hope that they continue playing their best 11. I think the team will look better once a Bumrah and a Harshal Patel come into the 11. But for those of you who are still hoping that India can qualify for the Asia Cup final, I know there's a mathematical chance. For you guys, I only have one word. The chances of India making it to the final of the Asia Cup are as bright as an Indian bowler bowling a maiden over in a T20 match. You know, that would be a miracle. India making a final would be a miracle. Nikhil Naz signing off from Dubai.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today Newsmo.